Hello viewers. Welcome to a new tour guide. Today we will be talking about how to get around in Florida. This is the 5th episode. You can watch our 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th episodes and check the I button. If you liked this video, please subscribe to our channel, and if you want, you can comment your opinion about this video. So let's go. How to get around by car in Florida. Traveling by car is the most common and most convenient way to get around the state for travelers and locals alike. For the traveler, car rental agencies abound in Florida, and many are available at every major airport. Orlando, in particular, is known as the car rental capital of the world. With Florida being the most visited state in the U.S., car rental rates are the lowest rates due to sheer volume. Florida's major highways include 1. Interstate 4 crosses diagonally from Tampa, heads east through Plant City and Lakeland, then continues northeast past Kissimmee, Walt Disney World, and Orlando, before ending at Interstate 95 near Daytona Beach. Interstate 4 is the most traveled highway in Florida, and due to the large volume of traffic, high speeds, construction, and a large number of tourists, it is also the most dangerous highway in the state in terms of the number of accidents. 2. Interstate 95 enters Florida from Georgia north of Jacksonville. It travels down the Atlantic coast past St. Augustine, Daytona Beach, Cape Canaveral, Vero Beach, West Palm Beach, and Fort Lauderdale before ending at US 1 just south of downtown Miami. 3. Interstate 10 enters Florida from Alabama near Pensacola and travels across the Panhandle, past Tallahassee and Lake City, and through rural North Florida to its terminus at I-95 in Jacksonville. 4. Interstate 75 enters Florida from Georgia and runs south through the center of the peninsula past Gainesville and Ocala before crossing just east of Tampa, where it then parallels the Gulf Coast past Bradenton, Sarasota, Fort Myers, and Naples, after which it travels due east across the Everglades to the Miami suburbs. 5. Florida's Turnpike is a toll road that runs from I-75 south of Ocala, through Orlando, West Palm Beach, and Fort Lauderdale, before ending south of Miami. It provides the most accessible access to Orlando and southeast Florida for persons entering the state via I-75 or I-10. 6. Interstate 275 is a secondary interstate that runs from I-75 north of the Tampa area, past downtown Tampa and St. Petersburg. It crosses the 5.5-mile-long, 193-foot-tall Sunshine Skyway Bridge before rejoining I-75 south of Bradenton. Interstate 75 does not provide access to these areas. It instead passes through rural and suburban areas 10 miles east of Tampa. 7. U.S. Highway 1 is a historic and scenic highway that travels down the Atlantic coast between I-95 and the ocean before being routed over a series of bridges through the Florida Keys to its terminus at Key West 8. State Road A1A runs parallel to US 1 and Interstate 95 along the coast. Still, it lies to the east of the Intracoastal Waterway, primarily running along the oceanfront and offering incredibly scenic views. 9. US 98 enters Florida from Alabama at Pensacola. It travels a very scenic route along the Gulf Coast of the Panhandle, after which it continues diagonally across the peninsula to its terminus in West Palm Beach. 10. US 27 is a well-traveled alternative to Florida's Turnpike. It runs from Miami, along Lake Okeechobee, and through the mostly rural heartland of Florida before continuing through Ocala, Gainesville, and Tallahassee. 11. US 41 runs west from Miami on a scenic 2-lane journey through the Everglades and then travels along the Gulf Coast, around the east side of Tampa Bay, and north into Georgia. How to get around by plane in Florida. Flying may be a more reasonable option for crossing large expanses of the state, exceedingly if alighting from an international flight and connecting to another city in the state. Silver Airways and Atlantic Airlines offer the most point-to-point intra-state connections in different route combinations between large and small airports. American Eagle, Frontier Airlines, Southwest, and Spirit Airlines offer intrastate flights within the state of Florida too. usually from Miami and Fort Lauderdale to Orlando, Naples, and Tampa. Miami is a hub or focuses city for American Airlines American Eagle and Frontier. Orlando is a hub or focuses city for JetBlue, Frontier, Silver Airways, and Southwest. And Fort Lauderdale is the hub or focuses city for Spirit Airlines, JetBlue and Southwest. How to get around by bus in Florida. The bus is not the most glamorous way to get around the state, but it can be the cheapest. There is relatively frequent service from Orlando to Naples, South Florida, Jacksonville, and the Panhandle with multiple companies. Others offer connections to the Keys through Miami-Dade and Jacksonville along I-95 without going through Orlando. Check schedules. Many smaller companies, county bus services, and those connecting rural towns are not listed. Check the article about your destination and the agenda of the company for all the transportation options. 1. Greyhound Lines, toll-free, +1 800-231-2222. Connects South Florida to Tampa, Naples, and Jacksonville through Orlando with onward connections to Atlanta, Savannah, and other cities. They also go south to Key West via the Keys from Miami. 2. Jet Set Express's phone number is +1 407-649-4994. Venue at Stop Open 24/7. Thrice daily departures to Fort Pierce, Kissimmee, and Orlando from Miami. Check schedules for a listing of other stops serviced once or twice daily. 3. Keys Shuttle. Phone number is +1 305-289-9997. Toll free, +1 888-765-9997. The company provides door-to-door service to the Keys from the Miami and Ft. Lauderdale Hollywood International Airports. 4. Megabus. Connects South Florida to Tampa, Naples, and Jacksonville through Orlando with onward connections to Atlanta, Savannah, and other cities. 5. Omnibus La Cabana. Phone number is +1 305-541-1700. Connects Miami to New York City through Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Washington, D.C., Elkton, Maryland, Philadelphia, and New Jersey on a single route. They serve Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, Deltona, and Jacksonville in Florida. 6. Our bus, Terminal B of the Port of Miami Cruise Terminal. Phone number is +1 844-800-6828. Operates service between the Miami Cruise Terminals, Fort Lauderdale Airport, Tampa, Sarasota, and Fort Myers. Fares range from $10 to $22 or more. 7. Palm Lines. Connects Chicago to Miami through Jacksonville, St. Augustine, Daytona Beach, Melbourne, Vero Beach, and West Palm Beach along I-95 in Florida. 8. Red Coach. Phone number is +1 407-851-2843. Toll free, +1 877-733-0724. Service from Tallahassee to Miami via Ocala, Gainesville, and Fort Lauderdale. One branch goes through Orlando through Fort Pierce, West Palm Beach, and Pompano Beach. Another goes through Tampa, Fort Myers, and Naples. Several local and regional public transportation agencies offer intercity bus services throughout the state. How to get around by train in Florida. 1. A Brightline train at the station in Fort Lauderdale. 2. Amtrak Silver Star or trains number 91 and 92, and Silver Meteor or trains number 97 and 98. This is a relatively expensive option but will suffice if other means are not possible. Both routes span from Jacksonville to Miami. While the two routes are slightly different, they both stop at the following stations: